Yungblud, welcome to the Rolling Stone Uncut podcast, my friend.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Oh, buzzing, honestly. As soon as I land in Australia, I feel like my mood, my battery bar just goes zing.
I mean, happy Christmas, happy New Year. Did
Yeah,
you get some time off?
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of weeks, which was
Yeah.
nice. Went to see my mum, got me washing done. I had a load of Guinness, then went to the Caribbean for New Year.
Oh, good.
Got a bit of a tan,
Yeah.
punched a barracuda.
Actually?
Yeah,
Wow.
right in the face.
We'll get to that in a
Came for
moment.
me ring.
I gotta start. I gotta start in June, man. We spoke mid-June.
Yeah.
I think around the promo for Idols.
Mm-hmm.
Now, correct me if I get these dates wrong, but the Ozzy concert happens 5th of July.
Yeah.
Idols comes out 20th of July.
Yeah.
Ozzy passes away 22nd of July. Can you distill those few months between then and now? Because I remember talking to you about Idols. It was super exciting. I
Yeah,
remember
man.
saying to him when we spoke, like, this album is going to do something really fucking important. I couldn't have even anticipated what would have happened between now and then and the conversations.
I mean, neither could I, to be honest. I really knew that this album was full of unfiltered truth and emotion on a scale that I think was adherent to the first album I made that made anybody know who I was. You know, I think, like, I knew that we were sitting on something deep that wouldn't be instant, that would take people a second to potentially understand, because it was such a departure from my old sound. But I mean, this year I'm really still trying to unpack what happened last year, because I think if you really kind of simplify it on paper, I write an album about being 27 and relinquishing the people that had kind of taught me everything I know. You know what I mean? I think you are somebody else until you yourself. You know, I think, like, that's what you do in your formative years. You take things you love from your mum, your dad, your uncle, Ozzy Osbourne, David Bowie, Iggy Pop, Madonna, and you mix them in a bowl, and you finally land on something that you're like, oh, this is who I am. And you put an album out to the world, goes straight in at #1 in a couple of countries, people like it, the biggest risk of your life, orchestras, 9-minute songs, what the fuck, you're like, all right, well, that's gonna be cool. But then it starts to take on a new life of its own, where almost like my biggest critics or my biggest haters were like, oh, hang on a second, this is, I like this. And then I get to kind of go out and perform to honour one of my biggest heroes, my biggest idols, which was a journey in itself, because that guy has been my North Star forever. As someone who was completely riddled with ADHD and mental and a bit of an outsider and not necessarily fucking very digestible to people, Ozzy was such a... Before I even knew him, he had his arms around me long before he physically put his arms around me, you know what I'm saying? I do that, I walk out on stage to probably the toughest audience, like Black Sabbath fans, 50,000 of them, and sing that, and that goes crazy. I get to know my idol after writing an album called Idols, and then he dies. And in the wake of that, everyone kind of floods to that performance, and kind of, you know what I mean? This a mass of people kind of discovered me, and I can never be more thankful to him or to Sharon, really, because obviously the music was so important to me growing up, and helped me navigate my life as a boy and a man, but then to have him as a mentor for the 3 weeks I genuinely knew him. You know, I mean, he was in the funeral video, but we were almost like we were close, but we hadn't had a moment together that, you know, it's like anything. Like you meet someone new, you got to go see something extraordinary with them or get fucking drunk in a hotel and talk shit. Or you've got to have a moment with someone before you really have a relationship. And that gig and backstage and getting to know him and talk to him on the phone in the final weeks of his life was just something that I'm still trying to unpack, because you look at a photograph on the wall, you identify with this. The answers as a response to that photograph are all come from within you, but then you meet the guy who gave you that hope in the morning, every fucking morning, no matter what people would say about me as a 13-year-old weird kid or a 25-year-old rock star. I always got a lot of stick, and he would almost kind of be the picture in my fucking book that I would look at. And to know him, and after writing an album like that, almost about him, and Bowie and Freddie and everyone that kind of gave me hope, it's just something I'm still trying to comprehend. And I know that was a long answer, so I'm sorry, but it's a trip.
Do you think that reaction and that division of you as an artist since then, you've had a lot of criticism about where Yungblud fits in rock, but on the same hand, you've got people like fucking Aerosmith and Billy Corgan who are saying this guy is the next big thing. I mean, I saw that interview you did with Corgan, right? And he said, you're this generation's Elton John.
Wild.
Like that in itself is insane to think out loud.
That's the thing. For me, when people say to fit in rock, that is the most un-rock and roll thing ever. Rock music isn't supposed to be a gate-kept boys' club. And it became that. That's why it was been suffocated and boring and so adherent to the past. We have to allow young people to pioneer something, or at least try to give this thing a heartbeat. I think I've said this a lot, but the worst thing that happened to rock was you were getting ridiculed for the reference point from 2005 onwards.
Yeah.
Oasis sounded like the Beatles, and they fucking loved that. They wore that as a badge of honor. Kurt Cobain loved John Lennon. Fucking Ozzy, Sabbath was like, if you listen to Bill Ward's playing, it's like metal Ringo. Muddy Waters and the Rolling Stones. Literally like Buddy Holly and Paul McCartney. You know what I mean? I think to carry on this thing and to reference it, but it's never going to be the same because it's from a new spirit. No two human beings are the same. You know what I mean? You don't see the outlook. But it's a beautiful fucking thing. And people ridicule for it, and it just sucks because you just know that a 17-year-old in a room who was loving sounding like Queen. My biggest fear is that they get deterred from pursuing a career in it by some old bitter cunt on the internet. And I'm here to go, if you're young, play rock. Fuck it. Don't listen to him, and there's a new generation of ideas. And can I tell you something? When you actually meet the legends, like Stephen, like Ozzy, like Billy Corgan, they fucking want it. It's only the people who didn't necessarily reach the mountaintop are gatekeeping the genre.
Yeah.
So if you're young and if you want to start a band, do it with everything you've got.
Yeah.
Reference who you fucking want to. Believe in what you want to. Block out the noise. Have fun. And lead with love. And I promise you, you'll fucking sell out the Kudos Arena in Sydney. Because that's all it's about. It's about truth, and it's about unity, and it's about community. Everything else, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. You're making yourself anxious.
Well, you just said there, you have to kind of give that baton to the next generation, because if the conversation is rock dead, rock's not dead, if you don't share that spotlight, how will it continue? Like, my favorite band of all time is Blink-182, right?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know about The Cure until Robert Smith did all of this with Blink.
Exactly.
Now, The Cure are one of my favorite bands of all time.
And Tom DeLonge is a massive Robert Smith fan.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think the thing about it is, it's like, it just got all too serious and all too chin stroker. It's just got to be. And the vibe is this. People are going to like you and people are not going to like you. That's the fun. When you find that fun, everything's limitless. When you lean into it, when you look at... You know what I mean? I think when you're an artist, you basically put yourself as a subject to be fucking coconut water. You either like it or you fucking don't. Mm-hmm. I like it. I think it's fucking epic. But he fucking hates it. And the moment you go like, let's have fun with this, as opposed to letting it make you shit yourself or stunt your day, everything becomes limitless. You know what I mean? Lean into everything, because that's art. Lean into emotion.
Was that easy for you to navigate? Because like I said...
Fuck no!
No, when we're talking about...
You know what I mean? Like, hell no.
We're talking Idols in June. I can't imagine 5 months from now we're going to be having a conversation about, is Yungblud the next iteration of rock? That is an unfair brand to throw at someone. But you seem pretty comfortable in it.
My vibe is I am the next iteration of myself. You know what I'm saying? I love rock music. I grew up in a guitar shop. I feel like it's the genre that's in my blood. You know what I mean? I was like, there's a picture of me 6 hours old on my dad's counter with a Beatles ukulele across my knee in my fucking car seat. Rock music is my blood. And I love it deeply. I don't give a shit about what everyone's fucking slogan people are placing upon me, good or bad. I love the genre. I'm excited for the genre. It's finally fucking rearing its head again, because it's spherical and there's 40 fucking artists running as fast as they can. I think like the weirdest thing in rock music is this, innit? Who's gonna save it? That's the weirdest question, innit? Not one person's gonna save it, because I think that's why. Because it immediately makes it competitive. It shouldn't be competitive. It should be fun, and everyone should be playing together, featuring with each other, gigging together, touring together, doing festivals together, and being mates with each other. Even if the music you're making isn't the same, I think like if we gatekeep rock, everything will sound the same. And fuck that. You know what I mean? It's the same shit as the internet. Like beauty standards at the minute. Like no one fucking looks individual, because everyone wants the same fucking nose. If you want the same bass sound or the same nose, you're a clone. You know what I mean? Keep your nose.
That's the message of the podcast. Keep your fucking nose.
Keep your fucking nose.
Take away all the noise then. Like, forget about the Ozzy concert and forget about the conversation around you and where your place is in rock music. Again, thinking back to that June conversation, I remember thinking and listening to Idols and going, shit, Yungblud, this is his album. This is his coming out moment. Without Idols, are you here right now?
No. 100%. Idols was more than just an album. It was a lesson. It was a moment of rebirth. Being like, the first iteration of what you know of me is over, because some artists come to the world most of the time, or sometimes, fully fleshed out. That wasn't me. I was 18 years old who wrote an album about Brexit and started talking to my phone, and all of a sudden blew up. You know what I mean? It was about the message and the meaning, and then you're expected to follow it up and follow it up and follow it up. And by the time Yungblud came around, I was 24, 25. I wasn't 18. It's a very different age, and you're feeling very different things. And the first iteration of Yungblud was over. You know, I think I needed something. I needed to live. I needed something deep. I needed to ask questions, as opposed to always have the answer. People thought I always had the answer. I was like, I ain't got a fucking answer. And I think I went home to the north of England, and I really played with the idea of shedding skin. I didn't even know if I was going to be called Yungblud when I attempted Idols. You know, I didn't know if Yungblud was going to be like a Ziggy Stardust thing or a first iteration before I became someone else. But Bloodfest made me fall in love with my name again. Because Bloodfest, you know, it was a wild time, and Idols gave me a new road to run down and a new place, and really forced me to face myself and make peace with things I hated about myself. So and I really, it's funny, isn't it? An album that was full of 9-minute songs, key changes, harmonies, orchestras, exactly probably what you shouldn't do in modern music, got me to the fucking Kudos Arena in Sydney. It's a trip, but it's always just about truth.
All right, I'm gonna wrap this up here.
Love it.
Because I remember here we go. Let's wrap this interview up with this. This was in Jan 1, 2020. What do you remember about this kid?
Holy shit. It's mad.
Hello, what's going on? It's Yungblud, and I am on the Green Room podcast. I'm at Falls Festival. It's out right now. Stream it, I dare you.
It's funny. I look at that kid and I really look at this kid and I see a dichotomy of excitement, but also so much fear. You know, I feel like I remember this time. It was just before COVID hit. I'd been up all night because that was New Year's Day, and I was with my friends, and I think this was when I was changing, and I could feel it, and you could feel it in my voice that hello and blah blah blah. I was I don't know, man, just trying to fucking live and be alive. You know, I think I had a lot to learn, and I'm so happy that I had that with Idols, because a lot of us in this life never feel like ourselves are good enough. So we overcompensate and we heighten bits of ourselves and we turn things up and turn other parts down. But when you are truly yourself and comfortable in it, whatever you are, you magic. Individuality in whatever form that is, if that's an extroverted rock star in eyeliner, or if that's a person who wants to stand in the corner and observe the world and not say a word. When you meet someone who is truly themselves, it's refreshing. Because I think in this life, we wake up in the morning, we compare ourselves to 20 people before we've even had our breakfast. It's really hard to be yourself nowadays because there's so much option of who to be, of what to wear, of what to eat, of where to go. We're influenced all day. So my vibe is, what I did, it was that I turned this fucker off and I listened to the little voice here that answers the question immediately after it's asked. Because this instinct is the most powerful thing you got. When someone asks you a question, you answer it immediately. But then, in the following 15 seconds before you open your mouth and give your answer back, insecurity hits. You try and process it in your brain, and then you formulate in your head to hide, to give an answer that the person opposite you might want to hear, or you don't want to offend. The first thing you feel when you get answered that question is probably your body talking. If there's a fucking bear behind me, my body fucking knows what to do. If you think too much, it's gonna bite your head off, innit? You know what I mean? I really think listen to your instinct. I think, like, because that kid, I see him, he wasn't.
Well, let's do this again in 6 years, Yungblud.
Fucking hell, let's
Thanks
do
so much,
it.
man.
You're a ledge.
Thanks, brother.